Hi everyone, Michael Pattison, Expand the Zone. So I was going through Scott Kazmir's mechanics for one of my clients, and I was doing this is him in like with the A's. So this is like 7 or 8 years before this right here. Is him at age 38 with the Giants. I was trying to make a comeback, and just how much more explosive he is later in his career than he was with the A's, and we're going to kind of explain why here. So I'm going to put him through one more time. And one more. All right, so you'll notice, like, just comparing the two, like how much smoother he is on the right, how much more explosive he is. We'll break down the timing of all that. But you see this a lot in guys that are, like, as they get farther along in their career, they start learning how to use their body just a little bit better. This is going to be more of your push, extension, like early rotation, and this is more of your hinge, hold rotation, and then explode into rotation or unleash into rotation here. And kind of like what goes along with like that. So like a good way of thinking about it is like changing one or two things before you get into landing. It changes a lot of things, has a cause and effect like after you land and how you actually throw a baseball. You can even see from this still unintentionally, you can see like chest a little bit more up, energy coming a little bit more this way as opposed to pulling through the throw or pulling down, like using that rotation to get through the throw and finish the throw. Okay, so we're going to take you through leg lift here. So like, all this very similar, a little bit higher hands on the right, but like this is just over time. Like I don't think this is, especially on this leg lift too, I don't think any of this is like conscious difference. I think it's just like keeping those habits. And you'll see the first difference here, like as he goes into his hinge or counter rotation, as he gets into his hips. Here on the right, he's way more like stacked over his torso, kind of holding this position as he goes down the mound. So he gets into this stability or this balance and like holding, gaining power in the back leg, back hip. Okay. And here on the left, you'll see a little bit more quad dominant, a little bit more on the toes. And what's going to end up happening is you see in like young kids all the time is that knee is going to start rotating a little bit early. All right, and then he's going to go into a push, essentially. He's going a little bit of rotation, extension. This is going to cause a lot of energy to be coming up, as opposed to like, you can think of it as like his pelvis, like trying to get through the ball. We're trying to rotate down to direct his torso into the throw. That's what we want. That's what happens more so on the right than on the left. You see a lot of kids, like, when they go into the push, it tilts their pelvis. And they end up starting to lean. And a lot of the follow-through becomes artificial. But you can see, like, the energy coming this way as opposed to being pulled down that way. All right? So, on the right, he's going to hold on to his back leg, hold on to that power, unload it. You see how much quicker this rotation is and that unloading process for him on the right than on the left. That's like one of the major things. I feel like when you get tight, when you end up pushing through it, like the movement it's not as quick, and you can't unload your trunk as well. It becomes like very linear. You can get away with it if you're taller. So you can create that hip to shoulder separation like a little bit better if you have really good hip anatomy. But over time, you just not only is it's harder to do, but it's so much easier just to like hold on to the energy that you have and rotate. That's why you see so many smaller guys doing that. It's because they don't have the same space that a guy that's like 6'6" have. And a lot of those guys can take advantage of maybe not the best lower half mechanics just because, they have better measurables, a little bit taller, a little bit, like weigh a little bit more, and have more space. So as he anchors down, they're pretty much in the same spot here. He's already started rotation a little bit. And you're just going to see like, when he gets through the ball, how much quicker everything was coming around there. And not to mention that like his extension through or just getting over his front side is so much better. Like pulling through the throw as opposed to everything being pushed this direction and kind of like negating rotation and energy. So this is the big thing. As he throws on the right first. See how everything finishes through? Everything rotates on the same plane, finishes all the way through nice and smooth. Even at an older age, look how much better he's able to get through his pitch. All right, and you can see his follow through coming through. That lower half's going to follow the same plane as the upper half as he finishes. Rotate there, and then on the left, because everything's more so going this direction, everything kind of pops up over the front side, that stiffer front leg, and he's just not able to get the same rotational energy. He actually hits himself in the arm here because the shoulders actually like rotate all the way through and down. Like they kind of stick up a little bit. That arm whips through and hits his other arm. And it kind of stays in that position and then comes back out. And see the lower half like just far less energy. So like that's the major thing is like it's easy to see like especially when you're working with younger kids, like you see stuff like this very easily. And when they make the changes you can tell right away. It's kind of harder when you're older and the changes are less obvious. The cause and effect is less obvious than if you take a younger kid and tell them to do something and they understand it, But I just wanted to go through that real quick. So Scott Kazmir, I mean, one of my all-time favorites, just being able to throw a baseball and, walked a lot of guys, earlier in his career especially, but competitor, really good mechanics. And I'll take you through one more time. A lot more. All right. See you guys next time.